Okay?
It's fine.
Yeah? All right. And the air conditioner is this one, I guess. Cool. Good. All right. Okay. Sorry for confusions and delays and issues, but now we're getting started here. Okay. All right. So first thing is, I am not interested in entertaining you. Okay, you know, a lot of workshops, they like you to enjoy and feel loved and warm and all that. Did you start the recording? Yeah? Okay. So it's not my interest. I am not looking to get a whole bunch of followers by making you feel good. I'm interested in you learning how to master your life and your mind. Okay? Your life, it's okay? Oh.
Just give me 1 minute, give them the operator.
Okay.
For the program.
Okay.
So they stay on that. I come 1 minute. But you can continue.
Okay.
Afterwards.
All right. So your mind is the engine of your life. Okay. So I think you all know my background, right? I've started at 13 with nothing. My first business, I've owned companies from retail to nuclear energy. All right, my nuclear waste remediation company, President Clinton, the President of the United States, got involved and had to get involved. So if I can get to that level with only a high school education, it's clear that education isn't what matters in your success. What matters is your mind and your personality. So in this course, you're going to have a business idea. You're going to build that business idea. Maybe you'll even make the business and it'll work. So we will do that part of business entrepreneurial training. But we're also going to work a lot on the mind and personality, to be able to be motivated, to get greater clarity of mind, to be more creative, and also learn about other people's personalities and how to interact with people, okay? And that is what it's all about. Is when I saw one of my companies, I took it public, people invested, they didn't care about the company, they only cared I was the CEO. People invested in me. All right, that's the personality you need to have to succeed, is that people say, there's 100 accountants I could choose. Why will I choose you? Because of your personality, okay? So that's basically the ideas of what you're going to learn, to be a real entrepreneur, okay? So my father always said, my father's an idiot, by the way, okay? I don't like him, I don't respect him. He's a very stupid-minded person, okay? And he said a lot of stupid things, like, you will respect me because I'm the father. No, I will respect you if you deserve respect by your behavior. So remember that, mother. You don't deserve respect just because you're the mother. You deserve respect if you're a good human being, okay? So that was one thing. The other thing he said, if 100 people say it is this way, and you say it's different, you are wrong, because if 100 people say something, it must be right. No, that means there's 100 sheep, and there's one farmer, right? So do not think that, well, this is how it is. No, a real entrepreneur says, what can it be? Never mind what everybody says. Another thing is in business, when you start a new business, at least in Canada, I don't know about other countries, everybody tells you, you will lose money in your first year. Accountants, lawyers, other businessmen, everybody will say, your first year you lose money, be prepared. And I thought, well, that's stupid. And so all of my businesses, well, I had 3 retail stores, that's the most critical in that type of attitude. Every single business made profit in the first month. I never, ever had a losing month from day one, okay? So just because 100 people say it is, does not make it right, okay? So these are the things I want to give you in this course, is the personality that understands you are the master, and whatever they say out there, don't believe it. We'll get more into all of that, but that's the introduction, okay? So do you have any questions to start with? No. Okay. So now, and there, you're going to get homework each week, okay? But you're also going to be asked some questions. Like right now, I want you to tell me why you want to be an entrepreneur and what is an entrepreneur. And it's good we're small, so we have plenty of time for each of you to answer. Okay. Who's first? Go on.
My grandfather was an entrepreneur, and he was a very successful one when I think about his years, but he only had the primary school education, but he became very successful. So I was thinking, perhaps that's the way to go.
Yes, but okay, so you want to do because you can be successful without education.
No, I am currently pursuing education, but I want to, at first I didn't consider entrepreneurship, but with how things are going, I want to get a glimpse of it.
Okay, so what does it mean to be an entrepreneur? Define an entrepreneur.
To create a product and to create a valuable product.
Okay, all right. Next.
I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to build something. I just don't want to work in a corporate job. I want to be working on something, building something in his life. What is an entrepreneur? Is someone who works for his client, delivers.
Okay, all right. Your turn. No, you want to say, Van? Why not? I mean, it's my girlfriend, but she can participate, certainly. Go on.
David is entrepreneur. No.
Yeah, why do I want to be? Yeah.
I want to become an entrepreneur because I want to have money. I want to have the luxury life.
Good. And what does it mean to be an entrepreneur?
An entrepreneur doesn't mean that you must have creative.
You see, it's cheating, right? Because she already knows me. And we've reviewed this. Okay. Yeah, to be creative. All right. Huh? Word harking? Word harking. Hard working. Okay. All right. Okay. And you want to?
Yeah, me, I'm already an entrepreneur, but not the entrepreneur I want to be. I've been in corporate jobs. I've been handling great responsibilities like catastrophe, you name it. In South Africa, I worked there for 10 years. I was working for the mega risk, so a claim of $300 million easily come by and shake you up for insurance purposes. So I chose the entrepreneur route because that allowed me some more flexibility for my family life as well. But I wanted to focus on stuff which I believe would be good to society and not having to worry about hierarchy or getting orders which I don't think I need to follow, because to me, this is how the work needs to be done, the results needs to be there, and I can add my creativity without pleasing anyone. I need to focus on the job, not on pleasing the whole crowd.
Good. All right. So that's why. And an entrepreneur, can you define it if you're writing a dictionary? If you're writing a dictionary, define the word entrepreneur.
Well, an entrepreneur takes many risks. My dad was one, a grandfather. And he has his own mind. He already knows 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line what are the desired outcomes he wants. And well, It's not that he dictates, but he shows the way. Yeah, this is to me. And
Okay.
I want to leave a legacy as well of my way of doing things.
Okay. All right, so I'll give you my definitions, my answers. Why I want to be an entrepreneur? Because there is no limit. If you have a job, you're limited. If you have a business, that doesn't make you an entrepreneur just because you own a business. But if you have a business, one business, you are limited. That business can only go so far. That's why even Amazon has, when these corporations get big, they buy other companies because that company is limited. They make so much money, to expand, they buy companies in different industries. You know Richard Branson, Virgin Airlines and he owns over 200 companies because he wants to keep expanding, but each company can only grow so far. So an entrepreneur, I want to be an entrepreneur because I'm unlimited. Okay. Now, what is an entrepreneur? Right, so it's kind of answering to what you were, what are your names? Ryan, I know, and Andrea and Catherine. Okay. So what Catherine was saying is right. You don't want to be stuck in the limits of a corporate job. Okay. So I want to be free to think. Okay. But what is an entrepreneur? It is not, it is not that I own a business. An entrepreneur means creative. It means that entrepreneurial means I can make something out of nothing. I can solve any problem. It does not matter what the business is. When I was in business in Montreal, my charity was business consulting to restructure family-owned companies. Because in Montreal, we had a lot of immigrants. After World War II, we had all the Europeans were coming, especially Hitler refugees, the Jews, the Greeks, the Italians. Everybody was running to Montreal. So you have a lot of people who came with nothing, and they started a business, and they built it up, but it grew, and then they start going bankrupt because they didn't know how to handle the growing company. So they didn't have money to pay for a business consultant to help them, so I'd work for free. My fee was, if I'm there at lunch, you buy me lunch, okay? So I have been in 100, 150 different kinds of business, and I made every one of them grow and succeed. That is being an entrepreneur. It has nothing to do with owning a business. It is a mind that can see potential and future in any situation, okay? So that's what we're going to learn and develop that kind of a mind. That's what an entrepreneur is. And the reason you want to be an entrepreneur should be only one thing: freedom. Now, success is not being able to do whatever you want, although it is. But real success is I do not have to do what I do not want to do. Because I can do whatever I want. I can go on this trip, I can buy that car, I can do this, I can do that, great. But I have to go to work and earn my salary. I have to do this or that, okay? So then you're not free. Freedom is, I can buy a house and a car and an airplane, and I don't want to go to work today. And I don't have to. That's why we want to be an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur doesn't own and run a business day to day. An entrepreneur has an idea, builds a business, and gets other people to work for them. So that I am free to do what I want. When I had all my companies in Montreal, at that point, let's say I was, 23, 24 years old, I had 2 stores, so I had about 4 or 5 companies. I spent almost every day learning to fly an airplane. My companies are running, but I'm entrepreneurial, means I don't create a job for myself by owning a company. I train people to run the businesses I build, and then almost every day I was at the airport training to fly an airplane, which I did in 3 months. I got my license in 3 months because I could go every day because I don't have to do what I don't want to do. See? So that's where your mind needs to go. I want total freedom and not ego. And you remember I said I'm helping family companies going bankrupt? The reason they go bankrupt or in big trouble is because this immigrant came with his suitcase off the boat and he built from nothing this company and he's controlled everything and he keeps control. His ego wants to keep, I am the father, I am important. And eventually it outgrows him. And he's still trying to control it, so it fails, chokes it. But a real entrepreneur says, hey, I am nobody. I always said I should be totally redundant and useless in my companies. I shouldn't be an important part of my business. I oversee it, but in its day-to-day operation, they shouldn't need me. I'm only there in case of emergency. You know, in commercial airplanes, they're all automated. It's all computer driven, right? I mean, literally from the gate, the pilot can push a button, that plane will do the runway, go down the runway, take off, fly, avoid thunderstorms, avoid other traffic, find the destination, circle down, land, and get the plane to the gate without the pilot doing anything. But he's there in case of emergency. That's what a pilot is nowadays. So that's what an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur gets the idea, builds, and is just there for emergency. So you've got to know, don't create job security by being important. Then you just own a company and you work for it. You're not an entrepreneur. Okay. Okay, some more questions. This is just to, establish where we are and where we're going with the course. So, what is money? That's not a question, I've already answered it. Money is time. Time is life. Everything represents money, right? This costs money. So therefore, this thing represents money. Money represents the time it took me to make that money. So money and things are a materialization of somebody's time and therefore their life. Because instead of working to make the money to buy the air conditioner, I could have gone to the beach. So that's my life. So a very important rule is you respect money and every single thing, whether it's yours or somebody else's, as a representation of somebody's life. Therefore, if you waste money or you do not take care of your things nicely, you are literally wasting your life. Because let's say it took me 5 hours to make the money to buy this. And I treat it badly and I break it in 6 months. Then I have to spend another 5 hours to make enough money to buy another one, right? Okay. So if I do that every 6 months, in 1 year, that's 10 hours. In 10 years, that's 100 hours. In 40 years, that's 400 hours. 400 hours is what, 1 week of your life? Just for the air conditioner? What about everything else? Your phone, your car, your home, everything. You're wasting your life when you do not treat things with respect. So, money gets us everything. So we must want money. And in order to want it, we'll work. In order to keep it, we respect it. And we respect everything. So we don't waste time and money having to buy new ones more often than we need to. Okay? So, what do you think of rich people? Okay, you guys are from a rich family. But generally, poor people. So, what do you think of really, really rich people? Okay, I'll lead into that. No offense to rich people here, but rich bastard. People are generally rich. You see, you're like, because you know that, right? That's
I'm saying rich relatively, we're not in the 1%.
okay. No, I know, but my point is that rich people are generally seen as bad people. A friend of mine, he's a private money manager for billionaires, you know, handle their personal money. He said he's got a lot of billionaires, hundreds of millions. He said every one of them is miserable. They're depressed. Why? Because they know how many people they cheated to get their money. Rich people are generally seen as bad people. Andy, who you'll see at the end, he'll come for the last session, right? The one I'm talking about, who we're recording for him. One day, he wasn't really getting far with making money early on in his work with me. And one day, he came into class and he said, you know, his old junky car he had, he says, this rich bastard in a Mercedes was stopped next to me at the red light and looked down at me. I said, do you know him? No. How do you know he's a bastard? Well, he's rich. He's got this fancy car. So he's rich. He must be a bastard. Okay. You want to be rich? Yeah. Oh, so you want to be a bastard. If you perceive rich people as bad and you want money, then you want to be bad, but you don't want to be bad, do you? So you have to be careful. Now, do you love money? What about people, I love money. I just want more and more and more money. I love money. What do you think of that attitude? That's no good, is it? Right? No. But then you won't have much money. Why? Because you have the wrong idea about money. Money is things. Do you love air conditioning when it's extremely hot and humid? Yeah. Do you love a nice car, a nice home? Oh, yeah. Do you like good food? Oh, yeah. Do you like good medical care? Oh, yeah. Where do you get those? With money. You love money. You've got to love money. But remember, money is a representation. Oh, sorry, wrong slide. Money is a representation of life. Because there's nothing in this world without money. It's just the easiest way to transact, because if I make shoes and I need bread, I can go to the baker. But if I cannot find a shirt, a tailor, where am I going to get it? Or if the tailor doesn't need shoes, how am I going to get clothes? We need money. It's a universal manner of exchange. So you've got to love money, but not because some people love money so they invest in gold. They buy physical gold and they store up piles of physical gold because they love money. No, that's not good. But you have to love money knowing that money is a materialization of your time and your life. But it's very important because the subconscious things, and when I was with Andy and he said that thing about the rich bastard in the Mercedes, it clicked. And he started making a lot more money. So you have to be careful what your subconscious thoughts are about money and about rich people. Okay? Yes, most rich people are nasty because they cheated, they lied, they hurt people to get their money. Doesn't mean you have to be that way to get rich. But you have to love money because of what it can do. Because you love whatever it is you love. Okay? Okay. So, that clear. Now, do we all love money? Love it. Love money because of what it can do. Right? So that's very important to get that clear. Okay. All right, now, finish the notes. The video is recording. Just check. Still going. And is the lights on the microphone jumping when I talk? On the little box? It's working? No, the little box hanging from the phone. You see the lights on it jumping? Okay. So now, here's some questions. What are your inhibitions or fears? Your buttons. You know, somebody says something, oh, that gets me, right? Okay? What can make you shut down or change your mood? Certain things make us, our moods change. We know them. All right? So tell me. Yeah, what are your buttons? What are your fears, inhibitions, things like that?
I deserve criticism.
So if I criticize you, you shut down. Or you're scared of it.
I deserve. I would not shut down, but I would move away.
Okay. All right. Anything else? What do you fear? Spiders? No, but I mean any kind of things. Yeah, come in.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Sorry I'm very late.
That's okay. We're recording it,
Okay.
so you'll be able to catch up.
Alright, thank you. So I had a lot of stuff to do today. I'm busy, so I needed to talk to you if you're in this class. Can I talk to you?
Now?
No, not now.
Oh.
Maybe later or when you're finished.
Sure.
Thank you.
But you're going to join or not?
I have some stuff to do. That's why I just passed over. I was
Okay.
actually looking for parking free time. I just passed over. I could not find parking. I needed to park the car near the filling station.
Oh boy. Okay.
Just to come and see, but
Yeah.
today I will have a conversation with you.
Okay, but over the phone or you want to meet me in person?
Meet you in person will be better.
Okay. There's somebody else meeting me at 3:30. I don't know if you want to go to Mocha at 3:30 and meet me then or when, or I'll just tell you when I'm.
Okay, please listen to this on WhatsApp.
All right. You are Kurtish, right? Okay. Because I haven't met you, but.
Sorry.
All right. And we'll be in touch. Okay. Okay. So fears, inhibitions. What do we have?
Losing the people I know.
I'm sorry?
Losing the people I know.
Losing. Okay. Why would you lose them?
An accident or something like this.
Okay. All right.
Are we general fears or fears to the business?
General fears.
Ah.
Fears to the business, of course. Business goes down, problems. Yeah, that's understandable. That's smart. In aviation, we say a little bit of fear is a healthy thing because it keeps the pilot attentive. But you're just fears in general about you, your personality. I mean, your feelings.
Okay. Well, my fear, having always been in thinking about risk, so it would be a gap in cover, something I didn't well calculate. This would be like the I've gone through many of them. Up to now, it's okay. It's sprung back to action, and it would be in these now post-COVID things. Would be like, say the Red Sea or the Dead Sea. Losing more than 1 meter per year, and then all these bugs coming out. These things.
It sounds like a science fiction movie.
No, it is true.
Okay.
It is happening.
All right.
They lose 1 meter in every year.
That's the Dead Sea, not the Red Sea.
The Red Sea.
The Red Sea?
No, the Dead Sea.
The Dead Sea, yeah.
They lose
The
1
Dead
meter.
Sea,
And
yes.
So all the things which are better are coming up.
Right.
And so I look at the climate change or whatever. Say, we have not well calculated this at the methane or whatever. So there are many fears, but we try to reason ourselves and try to always be ready and do more calculation. Maybe as well in this, after the grey list of FATF or whatever, we are suffering from over-compliance in Mauritius. And really, when the regulator hits you so high with 17 million penalty, you wake up and you say, ooh, in 1 month settlement.
Okay, but no, more your personal fears. Like your daughter, she's saying, I'm scared of being criticized. Okay, things like that. What are your personal emotional fears?
I think my skin is much more.
Thick-skinned, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't think you have any real fears, emotional fears or buttons people could upset you?
I would think of diseases or whatever. That would be my fears, which say I didn't
Yeah.
listen well to the body and then something cracked or whatever.
Okay.
But
All right. Okay.
One of my biggest fear is not being able to reward my mother because she has done a lot for me and my brother. One day I wanted to have a comfortable life, but that's keep me like it's a fear inside.
Okay. And what kind of things get you angry?
When someone says I'm not good enough to do the job, and I know I can do it, but it
Okay. So the criticism again. Okay. All right. You want to say any?
There are lots of fear.
Too many. Okay. All right. Do you want to say any or not?
The biggest fear of me is that people think of me. They're like fear of judgment. Yeah.
Fear of criticism, judgment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel that I don't have a lack of condition, a lack of knowledge to do something quick or something like that. When I want to run something, and I think that I don't have enough knowledge, I don't have enough money, like something like that. And something that a little bit like resistant. Yeah. So maybe I have ability to do that, but I think that I don't have. Like you said that low self-esteem,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have. I lack of vision, so I don't have the real goal of my life. Yeah.
Okay. So pretty much all three of you, notice the age difference. When we get older, we don't care as much. But also when you have more money, you don't care as much. But you're worried what people think of you. That's very normal. But then you're not an entrepreneur. Because an entrepreneur cannot be scared of what anyone thinks or says about them. Because then you won't take chances. You won't do things differently. Okay? So now you know your big obstacle to succeeding as an entrepreneur. In my definition, right? Of what being creative, being free. You cannot be scared. Now, we'll deal with that in the course. Not all today, but all you have to do, what I did when I was young, you know where I learned? I talked to old, miserable people. I did talk to some old, successful people, but I learned much more from old, negative, angry, bitter people. Because they said, oh, I wish I did this. Oh, this one stopped me from doing that. Oh, I had great chances and I didn't take those chances. It's the regrets of not doing something is what will haunt you and make you miserable as you get older. Okay? So when you're scared of being criticized, that's because you aren't confident in yourself enough, and you're not just what will people say about you, but can you actually do it? Can you succeed? All right? And that we have to overcome. And you overcome it by a simple thing, is that you're going to die. And then what? So if you died in 50, 60 years, or you died tomorrow, we don't know. But the one thing we do know is you don't want to die with your eyes open wishing I did. So it is better to try and fail, or try and get criticized, than never to try at all. Okay? And the other thing that is, for me, the most best remedy against fear of criticism is that why do people criticize you if you are succeeding or taking chances? What do you think?
Jealous.
Huh?
Jealousy.
Jealous, exactly. So why should I worry about someone who is so insecure that they're jealous of me elevating myself? So think about that. When you're worried about what other people will think about you and say about you, that's because they're jealous and they don't want you to make them look bad by your success or your courage. So anytime you're worried about criticism, remember that criticism comes from jealousy of a weak, scared person who wishes they could do what you're doing. And the other thing is, at your funeral, it's better they have something to say than nothing to say at all. Because if you live your life without taking any chances, and people come when you're dead and they say, yeah, didn't really do much, did she? Yeah, oh yeah, you know, she was pretty quiet, never said anything, never took chances, never did anything, not much to talk about. Or they say, oh, she did so many chances, he took this chance, he tried that, he failed all the time, but he tried this and this and that. It's better that you have something interesting for them to talk about by trying, and the odds are you won't fail all the time. So always remember that. It's better they have something to say than nothing to say, because it means you're living, you're doing something, and that every criticism, no matter where it comes from, no matter what that criticism is about, is jealousy, that they wish they could do what you're doing. Okay? So just keep remembering that. That alone should help you, and I'd like to know if you can keep thinking about that. Next week, tell me how you feel about your fears of criticism. Okay? So, like I said, you're going to have to keep your records and every week come in with your notes because you're going to be tested. As I said, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to make you into something better. So yeah, just every time, so the exercise is every time you feel criticized or fear of criticism, remind yourself they're just jealous and then see how you feel. Okay? That's what you want to do. Then note how you feel.
And what about the diplomatic fear?
Diplomatic fear?
Say you're doing an event, right? You have to invite the Prime Minister and all his ministers. And because the Vice President is a good friend of yours, you grew up together, so it's not well looked. So you should have invited the President, for example.
Okay.
So this is a diplomatic fear of having done something which shouldn't have been done.
Yeah, but if you knew it, why'd you, if
I
you,
didn't know it.
oh, okay, you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Well, okay, mistakes happen. You're not going to be perfect, are you? If you didn't make a mistake, you'd be a Buddha and you wouldn't be here on earth. So, you know, mistakes are inevitable because we're still here. The only one who doesn't make mistakes is elevated and is gone. By virtue of being here, you're going to make mistakes. Yes, our goal is to make as little as possible. But if you're fearful of making mistakes, then you'll be more attentive and do your research. But what can you do? Yeah. But you know, think about it. You're make a mistake inviting the vice president instead of the president. Think about the guy who's driving on the garbage truck, picking up your garbage twice a week. He doesn't have that fear, does he? He also doesn't have that life. So it's better you're having the life where you have that kind of fear or mistake than you have nothing to worry about, because that's a very different life. So the higher up the pyramid you go, or the ladder, the bigger are the potential mistakes. But if you want to keep climbing, you have to be prepared for that. Yeah. Don't be scared. Better you've done something than nothing. Okay? All right, so we're clear? All good so far? Or any questions?
I think the greater your circle of influence, the lower your areas of concern.
The lower your?
The greater your circle of influence.
Yeah.
In a good way,
Yeah.
then you diminish the areas of concern.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's all a matter of your attitude, but yes, yeah. The more money you have, the less you have to fear. And the more power you have and everything, yeah. But on the other hand, a lot of people, the more they have, the more they fear because they have more to lose.
But isn't that greed?
Yeah. And we're trying to work on, like, when I teach people how to make money, if they're like long-term students, when I had my schools, which I'm trying to build here. So let's say you're a long-term student, 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, whatever, you're going to stay learning, and you want to make money. The first 6-12 months have nothing to do with money. It's all about personality training. You become that resilient mind, to which I'm condensing into these, and then we'll see if you want to go further with it. That's right, you know the All is Mind course, right? That starts next week. That one is all about the mind and personality. If we don't have anybody or enough people registering, I'm taking parts of that into this course. So you'll still get some of that. But it's all, yeah, fear, greed, all of this, hate money, love money. It's all in your mind. And an entrepreneur only has their mind. You could lose all your money, you could lose your connections, you could lose everything, but you don't lose your mind. That's why I have made and lost my fortune 14 times.
You lost it 14 times?
Yeah. The last one was the stockbroker had a software error, then they committed fraud to cover it up. So I lost over $2 million like that. And then I rebuilt. I'm worth much more than that now. So that's an entrepreneur. You don't, I mean, you worry about losing, you don't want to. But if you do, you can rebuild because you know that the money is just the money. Everything is really all in your mind. So, okay, so let's keep going. All is mind, right? So that's your question. Now, this is not talking about that. But everything is in your mind. All is mind, AIM, that's the name of the course. But we're not talking about the course now. We're talking about AIM, your AIM goal for your life. If you do not have a clear goal, a reason to live, you cannot maintain motivation. Okay? So, what is your goal? I don't know if you have that clearly now, but you will have to give me some ideas next week. And there's no right or wrong, right? And goals change. Goals change. You're not all born Buddhas like me. I knew since I was 4 or 5 years old exactly what my life was going to be. I knew different things that would happen at certain periods of time and what I would do and my reason for existence. Okay?
At the age of 4?
4 or 5, yeah. Younger than that, yeah. So I don't expect anyone to have that clarity, but you can pick a goal. I'm going to help you pick a goal and find out why that isn't right. Then you pick another one and I'll show you why that isn't right until you learn how to find one that is right. Okay? If you have a light and it's got 100 blankets so you don't get any light out of the light, it's not giving any light, you don't increase the power to make the light brighter. You remove the blankets. Okay? So that's what the work is about. It's to remove the obstacles, and we cannot find the obstacles until you do things and I show you where that's wrong and why it's wrong. Wrong in the sense of, you know, it isn't really what you want. All right? So you will give a list, if it's more than one, next week of your goal. Why do you... We'll put it this way. Why don't you just kill yourself tonight? Why don't you just go home and commit suicide? And if you think about that, I don't want to die. Okay, why don't you want to die?
I don't want to lose my soul. It's much more important to me than anything else.
That's perfect. That is a good goal. My goal was to become a fully enlightened Buddha. So that's a good goal. And it's generally a goal that we get when we're older, normally, you know? So why don't, I mean, that, and then that is your goal. Good. So why don't you want to go home and kill yourself? No, I want to climb Kilimanjaro. I want to see 97 countries or whatever it is. Okay? So that's the exercise for this week to have ready for next week. What are your goals? Why don't you just kill yourself tonight? Why aren't you willing to die tonight? Because what are the things you want to still do? And why do you want to do them? All right? So that's our first, and then we work with that next week. Okay? You must, and this is it. If you aim at nothing, you hit nothing. If I just aim my arrow at the sky, I'm not going to hit anything. I won't hit the target, although when you're shooting long distance, you do aim up and the arrow does go down. Now that's the thing, okay? Is that when you're I shoot, right? So when you shoot close, you aim close. When it's 100 meters, the target is there, but you aim here because an arrow will go up and then it will come down. Okay? If I don't know what my goal is, it can hit a poor person walking by. It can hit a dog. It can hit the ground. It can hit a rock. We don't know. So we need to know so that we aim at something, not just shoot and see where it goes. Because when you shoot and see where it lands, this is your life. What will you get in life? Wherever it hits. Maybe it hits in the ground that you own, and it all of a sudden lets oil come up from the ground, and you discovered you have an oil well, and you get rich. Maybe, but not likely. So, okay, so this is it. What is your goal? Now, when you will think of things and you'll say, I don't have the talent, okay? I want you to know about Tommy Hilfiger. You know Tommy Hilfiger, the clothing? Okay, Tommy Hilfiger is a man. He's a real person. And he had started his clothing company and he was bankrupt. And then two Jewish guys from Montreal saw his good stuff, but he doesn't know how to run a business. So these two guys made a partnership with Tommy and said, you design, we run the business. Now you know how big it is. And I met one of them when he was getting into his private jet helicopter to go from his home in the city to his home in the country. We have in Montreal, like 2 hours drive north, it's mountains and lakes, beautiful. So a lot of people have country homes for the weekend home. And we drive, normal people, and he has his jet helicopter to take him from the country home to his city home, all right? This guy doesn't know how to sew or design clothes. This is an entrepreneur. He says, I don't need to know how to do what I want to do. I can find the talent. I don't know anything about nuclear energy, but I built a company in nuclear waste remediation, which means we transform the waste so it becomes benign. I find the experts, okay? So when you're making your goal, don't let your lack of knowledge or skill stop you from that being your goal. So there is no limitation. If you want to be an astronaut, okay, maybe that one you don't want to put. That's pushing it. But any realistic goal, okay? So don't let your limitations stop you. Because an entrepreneur is just the one who pushes the buttons which make other things happen. He doesn't have to know how they happen, right? Because when you use your phone and you go WhatsApp and text and pictures, do you really know what's happening? No, you got no idea what's going on in that phone, do you? All you know is push this button and then I get a picture. My first business was photography. Why? I was fascinated. How do you get a picture on a piece of paper? How does this happen? How does a picture go on a paper? And so I learned about photography and printing and developing pictures and everything, and have my own dark rooms and that. So you don't know. So think about how many things are happening that you have no idea how it happens, but you look, see, push the button, get a picture, right? So that's the same as business. In business, it's exactly the same. You don't need to know all the details if you're an entrepreneur. If you are the accountant, you need to know tax law, financial planning, whatever. 1 + 1 = 7. No. So you need. But if you're an entrepreneur, you don't need to know that. You need to know who does know that. So when you're making your aim for your life, your goal, your list of whatever things they are, just bear that in mind. Don't let anything stop you from saying, this is what I want. I'll stop you next week, but no, kidding. But I'll show you where you cannot do something or what you need to be able to do it, because that is the way I'm training your mind to be a real entrepreneur. Okay? Good. Now, I've given you some exercises already, but let's just get to some other things here. So, and this is sort of helping you with the goals, okay? What do you really want in life and why? All right? Are you willing to devote the next 5 years to achieve your goals? Which means that for 5 years, no entertainment, no fancy restaurants, no holidays, no buying anything other than what you absolutely need. For 5 years, you are a slave, literally like slavery times. Are you willing to make that kind of a sacrifice? Okay? You have to question yourself. Now, why don't you make decisions that'll lead to the fulfillment of your goals? That's a good question, isn't it? Because you know what you want, you know what it'll take to do, but you don't want to do it. Why not? It's just something to think about. And what are you willing to do? Are you willing to devote 5 years? But in those 5 years, what are you willing to do in those 5 years? These are just questions to ponder, okay? It's like meditation. Just ponder these questions. That's all I want you to do for now, is just think about that. I'm trying to activate parts of your mind that nobody's activated before, okay? So you just ponder that. Okay, now, I breed lions. This is my school. My school, I breed lions. I'm no interest in 100,000 sheep following me. And then when I walk in, they all go, oh, it's David, oh my God. Okay, I have no interest in that. I want lions, which means that you are to be trained to have the confidence and power of a lion that no one messes with. But the thing about a lion is once he's had his meal, you can walk right by, he doesn't bother you. A lion is not an American who goes and shoots and kills for the pleasure of it just to kill people. A lion is someone, I am hungry, I need it, I will take it. Now I've had enough, so I don't need to take more. But nobody is going to mess with me. Because the lion stands up for his rights. So, to be a lion means you go to the restaurant and the food is not good or not what you ordered. You don't say, but it's okay. No, it's not good. I don't accept. I make a deal. We keep the deal. I make anything I want. This is what I said I'm buying. It's got to be what I wanted to buy. I do not accept being pushed around. Okay? So your confidence in yourself is the key to success. Because if we're doing business and I think you're weak, I can easily cheat you and say, I'll sell you this and then give you that. Because I know that you can't fight back or you don't fight back. You'll encourage being cheated. But if I know, this one, he fights for his rights. I can't get away with cheating him. I'm not even going to try. So when you're more of a lion, people don't even try to take advantage of you and cheat you. You feel much stronger. So we need to get this character of a lion, of power, of confidence, of nobody messes with me. And at the same time, I am not greedy and aggressive to take everything that's there. I just take what I need. And do you know how lions work in feeding? Okay, you have the male and then the pride. It's called a pride. You have a bunch of females. And one male has multiple wives. Okay. The females do all the hunting and the male sits back. And the female catches a prey, brings it to the male. He eats. When he's finished, he gets up and the females eat what's left. Okay? Why? Because the male is stronger. He protects the females and the children. If anybody tries to hurt them, he's there to fight, to protect. So that's why we want to be a lion. We need to protect the ones we care about, to protect ourselves with that kind of power, which is the confidence of, I will fight for what's right, to protect the people I care about, to get what I have agreed to get. Okay? So just keep that in mind. I am not interested in sheep. I'm interested in lions. I'd much rather have 20 good lions than 10,000 or 1,000,000 sheep. All right? So just another thing just for you to ponder. Today I'm giving you pieces to ponder that we work with through the course, okay? So now affirmations. Do you know about affirmations, right? You think they're good? Good idea? Affirmations? Helpful? Yeah? Huh? What do you think? You don't think? No. We did this in the one you did. Okay, that's cheating. He already did this one. Okay. Affirmations are terrible because they convince you to hypnotize yourself. Yeah. What?
I will just drop that form. They can take it out. I will take it once by Monday.
Okay.
I will be leaving soon.
Okay.
But to meet you.
So what should we do with it? Leave it at the...
It's the offer letter. I will scan and send it to every student who has gotten role for the entrepreneur.
No, but I'm saying, what do I do with them after? Give it to the reception?
You keep it on the table.
Leave it here?
Just put it.
Okay, cool. Leave it here. Perfect. Okay. So affirmations, I'm awesome, I'm great, I love money, all of this doesn't work if your subconscious doesn't agree. Okay? So if you want to say, I deserve the best, but you're not a lion, you're a sheep, and you say, oh, well, that'll do, that'll be okay, I'm humble, I'm a good person. No, your subconscious says, no, you're weak, you don't fight for what you want. So you will never, no matter what affirmation, I'm going to be rich, it's not going to work. Because your subconscious knows, no, you're weak. You accept any rubbish. You let people take advantage of you. So how are you going to be rich? Okay? So I don't believe in affirmations, which an affirmation is like a mantra. I repeat, repeat, repeat. All that does is self-hypnosis. I believe in action. Okay? So you have to start actually doing, living a certain way to prove to your subconscious the truth that you do deserve money. And you do accept yourself. Because if you want to have affirmation, I am strong, I accept myself, but yet you're scared of criticism, then those are lies. So I don't believe in affirmations. I believe in action. I'm a scientist. Don't tell me, oh, this is good. Why? Oh, because they always said it's good. No. Do it, prove it, then I'll believe it. Right? It's like this story of this man dies and he's in line at heaven. And in front of him is another man. And the angel at the gate says, okay, next. And this one in front goes and he says, so what did you do with your life? He says, to be honest, I was a thief, a robber, a murderer. I hurt many people. I stole, I killed, and this. And the angel says, yeah, that's right. That's what we have about you here. And he says, okay, welcome to heaven. And this other guy thinks, ha, he got into heaven. I'm going to heaven. So he goes and says, what did you do? I gave charity. I did this work and volunteered and this and this and this. And the angel says, no, you didn't actually help anyone. You only helped yourself. What do you mean? No, I did so much good. He says, no, you're going to hell. How can it be? He said, because every time you did something, you made a big plaque, donated by. And every time you did something, you told everybody, look what I did. Look at the good things I did. You didn't actually do charity. You built your ego. You were just showing off. Arrogant. So you see, he went to hell. So your actions, all your affirmations, actions, the subconscious knows the truth. So that's why we have to learn the truth about what we feel. When you fear criticism, why should I be scared of what people think of me? Am I a thief? You know what? The developer of I bought an apartment, the developer, he's a crook and a liar. And I tell him to his face, every word is a lie. All you're doing is screwing me. And he smiles. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't respond. Doesn't faze him a bit because he knows the truth. He is a crook. He is lying all the time. And he doesn't get bothered. He knows the truth. Okay? So you need to know the truth about yourself, whatever that is, if you're not going to be scared of criticism. Okay? Hopefully you'll be a better person than this guy. But know the truth. So basically what I'm saying is your fear of criticism is because you don't really know the truth about yourself, which means if you're scared of what people think about you, you means I'm not really that good. I may fail. But the truth is, no, maybe you'll fail, but so what? That doesn't make you a bad person. You don't have to fear what people think about you. So your fear of criticism is based on you not knowing the truth about yourself. When you're scared of, I'm not good enough, I will fail, you're following my steps, right? So therefore, the truth is opposite to what you fear, which means that I am capable. Now let me do it and prove the truth. And if I make a mistake, like inviting vice president instead of president, well, if I'm still alive, I'm not perfect. So mistakes are inevitable. So I accept it, I learn, and I do better next time, right? So I have nothing to fear. Reality is humans make mistakes. Reality is criticism is jealousy. Reality is if I don't try, I guaranteed failure, then it's worthy of criticism. So let me try, let me see what happens. I did my best. I know I did my best. And that's all that matters. And then I don't care what anyone thinks. Okay, now this is getting to a little bit business, financial planning here. The first thing of financial planning is you've got to know where your money is going. Okay, so you keep a log, for at least a couple of months. You can go back, if you never use cash, then you can just review your debit charges. Even 1 month. 1 month is okay. A full month. Usually it's enough because you have all your regular expenses. You bought a tissue, you bought a piece of chewing gum, it doesn't matter. You write down what you spent, okay? You must know where the money is going. It's like shooting the arrow in the sky. If you don't know where it's going to land, you might kill someone, right? We need to know where it's going so we are in control of where our life is going, okay? So you need to know where your money is going. And like I said, all the exercises, you have to bring the results every week because you never know when I'm going to ask to say, let's work on that, all right? So yeah, that's an exercise of discipline to keep a log and also to start to see what matters. Where's your money going? What do you really need? Okay, so you got that. And, okay, how about this? There we go. Okay, this now exercise lists all your assets and your liabilities. So we need to know exactly where we are. Every month, at the end of the month, and I've done this since I'm a little kid, I know everything I own, what's its value, what are my debts, if I have mortgage, loan, bank loans, whatever it is, and I know my net worth every month. So you need to know what you really have. Now, if you have a car, what's the market value? Not what you paid, what's it worth today? You have a phone, you have a computer, whatever, anything of real value, okay? What are all your assets? How much money you have, bonds, stocks, whatever it is. And all your liabilities. Bank loans, debts, everything, okay? So on the first of every month, you update that list. So you start to see scientific proof, the numbers are there. Where am I going? Am I actually staying the same? Am I increasing? Am I decreasing? So I know where I'm spending my money, I know where my financial position is going month over month, and I know, can I spend more on something or I have to cut back on something? Okay? So this is, again, this is just financial things that are leading us to an awareness of our financial position, which is extremely important to know if what you're doing with your life is leading you towards the financial aspect of whatever your goal may be. Next week, we're going to break down how to analyze what our goals are and things like that. Okay? So, and I expect to see this next week, these answers. All right? And another exercise. Now, this is fun. Okay. Okay. If you can not keep your mind focused, it's very easy to manipulate you. Okay? You need to get a mind that can stay very focused. And so it's like multitasking. All right? There's a lot of exercises you can do. Here's just one simple thing. Maybe this is super easy for you. You know, we'll see. Then you make it harder. Basically, if I'm selling you something, I'm selling you this, and I'm saying it's brand new. And you say, yeah, but there's a scratch here. This is not new. I want a discount. Yeah, but you know, look at the functions. Look what it can do. And this, and you say, but there's scratch here. It's not new. Yeah, but you know, it can do this, and it can do that, and this, and it. And eventually, oh yeah, it can do that. Oh, okay, all right, okay, I'll buy it. And you forget about the scratch. People will always try to trick you, to distract you, so that they can manipulate you. Okay? So you need to develop a mind that can stay focused so nobody can manipulate you. All right? The bigger the business, the bigger they're going to try. All right? So this is very simple. All right? 7325 and then enter 96237325. You get it? So you get a number, maybe 6, 8 digits, whatever it is you can remember. Read that number, don't look at it again, enter in a different number that you've been given. You know, like write down these two numbers. Enter in a different number, and then enter in exactly the one you're trying to remember without looking at it. Okay? Because if you remember this number, then you're looking at a different number and entering that different number, your mind will forget because it'll switch to the new number it's trying to remember. You follow what I mean? Okay? So you have to do this as many times as possible, then increase 4 digits, 5 digits, 6 digits, until it's too difficult and you can't get it right. Okay? So this is just an exercise. Do whenever you can to train your mind to be able to stay focused while something else is going on that's taking your attention. So you don't lose your attention. Okay?
Is it good to multitask?
Yeah, you have to, which is what I'm going to talk about now. Yeah. So it's one thing to not be tricked by the salesman, okay? But an entrepreneur is creative, which means there's always 10 different things happening at the same time. If you cannot handle multiple things hitting you at the same time, like in one of my stores, I'll talk to a customer, I'll be on the phone talking to someone else, and I'll have to deal with 1 or 2 employees at the same time. So I can have 4 or 5 conversations at the same time. And what was funny is nobody realized that I'm actually doing different things. They all thought I'm completely focused on them, okay? Because an entrepreneur, as you're doing business and different things are happening, you have to be able to handle multiple things happening at the same time. Because like in an airplane, if things are going wrong, you have to be able to handle keeping the plane straight and level, with navigating in the right direction, with the turbulence bumping the airplane around and shaking everything. You have to be able to do multiple things at the same time. So this is just an exercise to, I mean, it's sort of fun. I mean, I've noticed I'm doing that when, like, for example, logging into the bank online. I have the little thingy gadget, which gives me a code, and then I have to enter in the username, the password, and then the code from the gadget, right? So I'll look at the gadget, get the code, then I'll enter username, password, and then the code without looking at it again. And I realized that, wow, you know, sometimes people can't do that. They can't handle the memory because it's confusing when you're trying to remember one number and you've got another number you're using your brain for, okay? So games to improve your ability to multitask so that when the airplane is crashing, you'll be able to recover, okay?
Some very bright guys say it diminishes your ingenuity, something like that.
What, multitasking diminishes?
Yeah. They said do it thoroughly, get it done, get the work at hand done, and then you take another thing, rather than trying to do.
Well, then you're a person who has a job. But
they're very good.
yeah.
I'm saying that person, he came top in Mauritius, he's in US, he's at
Okay.
MIT, whatever. But this is what he's saying.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. It does depend on what you're doing. But I'm talking about being an entrepreneur, the creative mind. That needs to be. So what does that guy do? What does he do? The one who said that?
Yeah, he's doing coding, and even came to teach Mauritian coding.
Coding. Okay, so he's a coder. He has a job. He's not an entrepreneur who employs the coder. You see? I'm trying to teach you to employ the coder. I've owned 3 software companies. I don't know anything about code. But the coders, all they could do is code. Me, I get all these different businesses. So that's the thing. If you want to be a coder, yes, focus. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, no, multitask. So that's actually very good comment, because it brings up the point of what do you want to do with your life? Then you know how to train your mind, right? So, all right. So that's really good. So, but you get the exercise, how to do it, right? Okay, cool. So you've got plenty of things to be doing this week. And then, can this work? No, didn't work. This is a video. Do you know this little game toy thing? You pull one ball and it hits it. The other 3 don't move, but the last one moves, right? And that is life. Nothing happens without it causing repercussions that you don't see happening, and that's the one that causes a problem. Because you see the first one, and you don't see 4 steps ahead of what will happen. That's the entrepreneur. He sees that last ball, where it's going to go. Okay? So remember that your mind is all you have, and today you've been given the exercises to get a good evaluation of the state of your mind, what you're capable of or not capable of. And what you're not capable of is what we need to train in, becoming capable, okay? To get the focus. Now, oh, sorry, wrong button. Next. Yeah, okay, so that's all the slides for today, which is really funny. It's 2:28.
You finish.
we were filming some videos, marketing videos for one of the other courses here. We did 3 of them. I said, how long do you want it to be? She said, about 1.5 minutes. And I just talk, right? All 3 of them, 1 minute, 28 seconds. I just talked and then stopped at a time. And there's no clock, no way for me to know. But my mind was told, talk for 1 minute 30. And then thoughts came and I talked. And then the thoughts stopped at 1 minute 28. 3 times. See, that's an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur has a mind that somehow functions beyond using a clock. Okay. Now you already have that, and we're training in it, but I don't want you to think, oh yeah, you already have that, and I'll prove it to you. How many times, or does it ever happen, you need to wake up very early tomorrow, and you set the alarm and you wake up 1 minute before the alarm? How did that happen?
Your body.
Yeah, but how? I mean, you're saying your body knows, but this is pretty magical, isn't it? Because my eyes are closed, I am asleep, I'm not looking at a clock. How did my body know precisely the time? Because time is a human construction, right? You look at the sun, you can say sun rises, sun sets, but the sun doesn't say 2:35. Time is something we created. So, yet my body knows, all right? What about you don't talk to somebody for months and you just think of them and all of a sudden there's a message? Does that happen?
Yes.
Isn't that neat? So not only can my body know what time it is without looking at a clock, but my body, mind, knows somebody at the other end of the world, and we can think about each other even though we haven't thought about each other for months or years, and at the same time, there's a message. Isn't that neat? When I say all is mind, I mean, it's really, our minds have an amazing capacity that you already are proving you have. Now we have to develop that. But sheep should never develop that, because the farmer needs the sheep to stay on the farm, because the sheep is stuck in the farm so he can shear their fur and cut them up and sell them for meat. But nobody's keeping a lion like a bunch of sheep, right? So the lion has this mind, and we've got to develop this mind. But if a sheep starts to think and gets out of the farm, the farmer's not happy, he lost 1 sheep. But if that sheep comes back and starts telling all the other sheep how to get out, now the farmer's really unhappy. Okay? So that's why our entire society, our world, is designed to make you sheep. Right? You have to know that the devil is the good society helping you stay safe, have a better life. That's to keep you a sheep so you don't develop your mind. I breed lions. I want you to start to develop the mind that, how can I know what someone else is thinking? How do I know what this one, all of a sudden I'm thinking of this person at the other end of the world and I get the email. Right? How does my body know what time it is to wake up? All right, so that's something else you can think of. Start observing, start trying to wake up 2 minutes before the alarm, and start thinking about more and more of these magical events that are happening in your mind to prove to yourself through seeing the evidence that everything is happening in your mind without the need of a phone or anything else. Okay? That your mind is capable of things that are far beyond what society wants you to develop. Because there's only one stone in the top of the pyramid, and below that there's a couple and a couple and a couple, but at the bottom there's a lot. So society needs us to be sheep. For example, New Zealand, it is the worst nanny society. They call it nanny society, where the government takes care of everything for you. You don't have to think about anything. Why? Very smart. Because you have one government. It's not big enough for them to have provinces, okay? So you have one central government. It's not a big country. They don't have an army and a navy. Oh, they have a navy, but they don't have an air force or anything. So how does one government control the whole country? By making people so peaceful and easy to control that nobody starts a revolution, right? If I have lions fighting, I need a lot more policemen and army to control them. But if I have a bunch of sheep, it's easy to control. I don't need to spend a lot of money on police and controls and securities and rules, right? So is the story of the American president talking to the Israeli president. Israelis are very arrogant people. Every Israeli we're tough. They're tough people. So the American president says, oh, it's such a headache. 400 million citizens I have to worry about. And the Israeli president says, nothing. I got 6 million presidents I got to worry about. It's harder. So society is designed for keeping the peace. So it's meant, the whole system is meant to keep you from thinking. Something else for you to observe this week. Look at where you're being told something is good for you, and instead of being a sheep, be a lion and say, is this really good for me? If I have the ability to not talk to my friend for a year or 2 years and all of a sudden think of them and within a minute I'm getting a message, or I can wake up before the alarm goes off, I have got some abilities and I want to develop that so I become more creative, more powerful. So where are the rules of society or anything I see inhibiting those abilities from expanding? Okay? So you're looking for the devil. You're looking for the sheep farmer. All right, so some questions so far, because that's the end of the material for today. No questions?
How did you get started with your first company?
I was a freelance photographer, okay? So I based on human greed and the evilness of human nature, which is I'm greedy, I want as much money as I can, and I will take advantage of anybody if I can to get more money. So I understood that's what humans are. So what I did was, as a photographer, because back then we needed photographers, there were no digital cameras or phones, right? So I was good at it, I had a natural talent, and I could sell myself much cheaper than adults and still deliver a good product. So by knowing that people are greedy and would like to take advantage of somebody, I played innocent. I'm just a young kid, okay, I'll work for this little money, and I got a lot of work. And I accumulated the money and built and built and built from there. So we could say my millions and millions of dollars that I have now all came from a $125 camera. That's where it began. So yeah, and just seeing what people really are. They want to take advantage. Okay, I'll let you take advantage of me. But that's giving me what I want. Remember the 5 years of sacrifice? It means I don't fight for the most and respect. You can look down on me, you can think I'm stupid, you can think you're beating me, but I actually am getting what I want. which is work and money. I don't care what you think of me. I'm not scared of your criticism or looking down. I'm getting what I want. So yeah, that's basically I built from there. But then I was 13, it's easier. Yeah.
What other habits that have developed when you were young that have served you for these years?
Do whatever I say. If I say I will do something, it will be done. And I'm always on time. I was 10 minutes early. Didn't count on them not putting a parking spot for me. Do everything you said as best you can. Do everything to do the best you can regardless of what you're getting for it. So my habit is doing what I said, always being on time or early, and always trying to make the best. Don't give up, you know. How can I make it better? How can I make me better? Yeah. And also one was always funny is when I would date, I'd always ask the girls what they don't like about me. Always ask what people don't like about me. Yeah, I'd always be asking, what do you don't like about me? What do you dislike? So I'd look for criticism. I'd look for negative comments about me because then I know what to improve. And I don't believe them, but whatever they would say, I'd say, okay, now let me, I don't tell them in my mind. So this person says I'm always late. Okay, I will keep a log of the next 2 weeks. Am I on time or am I late? So I look for criticism. I ask people to put me down. And then I verify over weeks, is it true or not? And then I know how to improve myself. Yeah. So since I know I'm going to drop dead one day, and it could be today, I don't care what they think. I only care what I think of me. Am I good? Am I being better? Am I seeing where I could improve myself and putting in the effort to improve myself? So that's why I'd never cared about people's criticism about me. Maybe, okay, when I was younger, I care what a girl thinks. But yeah, but even that, what do you not like? What don't they like? Look for the criticism. It's your best source of material to become a better person before you die. Okay, what else? Good? No other questions? You're thinking. Should I say it? Should I not?
I'm just wondering, what about, I also got the first company, and then how did you move to the next company?
Okay, so let's see. So I started photography, and then I got jobs in stores in the nearby shopping mall, so that high school finished at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So school was 10 minutes walk from home, and happened to be home was right next door to the shopping mall. Okay, so after school, I could get a job for the afternoon working in a shop, and then the evenings and the weekends, I could do the photography. Okay, so did that, start building up the money. Then 17 years old, I bought some property. I bought a vacant piece of land. Got lucky. The guy who sold it to me bought it back 9 months later because he wanted to change. It was part of a huge project, and he wanted to change the design. He needed all. So I got some money there. Then finished school at 16. Then I got a job. Actually, it was my girlfriend's father had a company in industrial sewing machines. And he said, you know what, for the last 4 years, the company's not increasing sales. Something is wrong. And he liked my personality. So he gave me a job to find out what's wrong and to increase sales. So I did that for 2 years. And then, oh no, sorry. No, one before that. When I was 16, so I was a photographer, I would take my films to a laboratory to get them processed for my business. And one day, after a few months of going there, one day I said to the boss, it was a small place, right? I said, you know, I'd love a job. He says, you know what, I fired someone this morning and you're really good, I'll hire you. So I got that job, did that for a year. Then the sewing machines place. Then I got into property as a broker. So then I was a broker for a year, did really well at that. And then one thing I always said, I will never get in retail. I hate retail. I'll do any business but retail. One of my customers, he had 1 hour photo machines. So you bring the film to the store, we process the film in an hour, and you get your pictures. Was the new thing. And he was a distributor for those machines. And he found it hard to sell the machine, but easy to sell the business. So he was looking, I was finding him stores he could rent, set up the shop, and then sell the business. And as a broker, I found a couple of locations. I thought, they're very good, they'll make a lot of money. So I said, do you mind if I rent it and buy the machine? He said, sure, all I want is to sell machines. So then I started that store, then a second one of those, and then I like gems and minerals, crystals, quartz, amethyst, started a store in that. During that, I did the business consulting, more property business, international trading. I invested in a bicycle factory in Central America, did a software company, so different little things in between. And then, let's see, after the stores, yeah, and then just built up all these different businesses. People would come to me. And then when I was 28, I sold everything and went to travel around the world and be a monk. Yeah. And then after 7 years of that, I thought, time to get back into business. So then I met some people, got into a conference of alternate energy, and that's where I met the inventor for the nuclear waste remediation and a 100-year battery. We developed a battery that'll run for 100 years, nonstop. No charging, no changing, no fuel, no effluents, nothing. Of course, the government in the US took both the companies away, made them disappear, just like in the movies. And then was a cure for cancer. The fellow who invented a cure for cancer asked me to help him build his company, which I did. But he was very difficult to work with because he was scared of getting killed. Because anybody who found the cure for cancer was killed. So, yeah, well, yeah, big pharma, government. So, yeah, he reinvented the Tesla electrical therapy healing machine. I don't know if you've heard of Nikola Tesla. Yeah? Okay.
Oh, good. If you need me, you can contact me. So.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.
See you next week.
You mean the real Tesla?
Yeah, Nikola Tesla. No, Nikola, that.
He's the real Tesla.
Yeah, Nikola Tesla. He had invented a machine using high voltage electromagnetism, which was curing any illness. And this fellow, Alexis Guy-Obolensky, he was the last of the Russian Tsar's family, but living in the US. Brilliant man. His teacher was Oppenheimer, the guy who invented the nuclear bomb. So he was brilliant, and he reinvented this machine. So we were curing terminal cancers in a couple of weeks. It was amazing.
You have a machine?
No, it's gone now.
It's gone?
Oh yeah, he'd be like 120 years old by now. So he passed away, and he would never put the design on paper. He was too scared if he did, they'd assassinate him. So while he was alive, we did. So I did that. And then, yeah, after I lost everything, when the government took away my companies, I lost my money, my reputation, everything. So then I just went to New Zealand, and then I just did some properties and another software company and business consulting and stuff like that. Yeah, and then traveling and stuff like that. That's about a pretty short resume.
And how long have you been monk?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
7 years.
Yeah, I didn't plan on it 7 years. It was just then that I had enough and decided to get back into business. Just worked out to be.
Were you at Tibet or whatever?
I was in Japan, I was in Turkey, and traveling around different countries. And then I spent 4 years isolated in the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. So 4 years alone. Yeah. So that's it. Okay. You can do anything. Your mind is capable. Not everybody can do anything. Not everybody can do anything. There are limitations to each human being. But you're capable of a lot more than you think you are. That's why you've got to start realizing, how did I know? Why did I think about that person and then get that message? How did I know when to wake up? So you can start doing that. Try to increase your waking up before the clock or knowing what time it is. Like right now it is 14:47. What time is it? Okay? So just think, what time is it? And then look at your watch. So there's ways to train your abilities that are there, but you just never use because society tries to make everything easy so that you don't develop that because you're dangerous to society. So my training is to make you the lion who gets what you want. No one pushes you around, but at the same time, you're very calm and relaxed if there's no reason to fight. So you're never a threat, but yet you are free. That's what we want. We don't want to be a threat to society, but we want to be free so society doesn't make us do what we don't want to do. Okay? Good enough for today? Cool. All right. So all is mine. I've got one person only who signed up. So if you want to do that also, let me know this week. Otherwise, it's okay. I'll put some of that stuff in this course. And if you like that, we can do that next year.
Yeah.
You know, or you can start it this year. Yeah. Okay, cool. So,
I think you got an advantage being a Jew. You're a Jew.
you know what? Somebody said